Good morning, everyone. I'm in Roswell, New Mexico. This is where I actually live, and it's kind of ironic, honestly, the way I wound up here. I just moved to Roswell because my dad was sent up here uh, a few years ago, and he died in October, and so now I'm here and probably make it my permanent home. And but wanted to relate a story that of an encounter that I have, one of many that I've had. We all remember that Artemis 2 launch that happened a few weeks ago. I was looking at this thing on video, and just like any rocket launch from whomever, whether it's NASA, it's Elon Musk, whatever his, and all these billionaires that have the capacity and the money to send, you know, stuff into space. I look at this and I was trying in my mind to, I can only imagine the amount of thrust needed to push these rockets off the ground, these massive objects off the ground, through the air, and into space. So in my mind, I see that, and I see people they're excited to see such an event, and it's understandably so. It's something that if you saw live with your own eyes, it would be an experience. But one of the encounters that I had with uh, an unknown flying object happened about 90 miles south of here in Eddy County, New Mexico, more specifically in the village of Malaga. I was living in Carlsbad at that time, and this happened in the late September, early October of 1993. So it's been quite a while. It's been a long time. But me and my best friend were on Black River Village Road, which runs west of Malaga towards the El Paso Highway, or 62-180. As we were traveling west, my best friend started to comment on these lights and asking me if I was seeing these lights, and I didn't know exactly what he was talking about. I thought he was talking about maybe lights coming at us, like traffic lights from a vehicle, headlights or something. I look in the rear view mirror, I look towards the front, I couldn't see anything. And I said, "What lights are you talking about?" Well, he points to something towards my side of the car, and that's when I saw a light, but I was like, it wasn't really doing anything that I can remember that would draw my attention to something like that. And but I saw it, and I was like, what exactly is it doing? Because like, for me, I wouldn't have on my own like stopped. But since he kept insisting, and as I'm looking at this light, it vanished and it reappeared and then it came back. And I was thinking that it was a tractor. I thought, oh, it's a tractor out in the field cutting alfalfa. But I decided to stop the car directly across from where this light was at, and I stopped the car. I stopped it on the road. I didn't pull off on the road. I stopped directly on the road, you know. And I turned off the headlights. I turned off the heater. I had turned off the radio, and I remember that I had rolled down the window so I could get a better look at it. And there's this light. It goes out maybe 100 yards away, maybe 120 yards away. It goes out and then it appears in, I'm going to say, probably another 80 to 100 yards towards the west. And then it goes off there and it comes back to the original spot where it was at. So I was like, I don't know what it is. And it kind of intrigued me a little because, like I said, I couldn't hear anything. I'm not a farmer, I'm not a rancher, but I do know that the tractors make noise. I've been near them a few times. I know that they make a lot of noise. But this one had no noise, so I'm like, I don't know what the hell it is, but I was still sure that it was a tractor, or several of them. And I was looking at this light do that several times. And the last time that I remember it doing that is that when it came on about 100 yards from where its original place, it came back, but it was phasing in and out so fast, like a spotlight. It came back so fast, and I was like, holy crap, maybe there's quite a number of tractors on them. I just don't know how they're doing this, because it was a phasing in and out of the light. Like, it was so quick. And when it came back to its original place, I saw, like, and mind you, it's kind of hard to describe these things because, like I said, I don't know how they do them, and I don't know how to compare some of them to the things that they were doing. But from the top of the light, these sparks shot out, and the sparks looked like welder sparks. And I saw every individual light, like every single dot. I saw them shoot up, and they arced back down and into the center of the light. So I was like, what in the world are we watching? What is this? This is definitely not a tractor. And I need to say that the light was probably about three times the size of a basketball in size and diameter. But after that happened, uh, the light started to move towards us. It actually started to come towards us. And in my mind, I kept saying, okay, well, here it comes. It's got to be a tractor. And as the closer it gets, I'll be able to see, that it's a tractor, and confirm to Eddie all this time that it was a tractor. Well, it kept coming and coming and coming. The light just went out. And as soon as the light went out, and then there it was. You could see the shape of the object. And the only way I can describe it is that it was it looked like a bell. A bell or a gumdrop. 15 to 18 feet at the bottom, and the same in height at the center. And it was very faint in color, like whenever you turn off a light bulb at night and you see how faint the light is, the bulb. Now, as it fades out, look at the very last time that you can see it before it goes dark, how faint that bulb is, but you can see the shape. That's what it looked like. And it's coming towards us, like it's not stopping. I mean, it is coming straight towards us. And of course, at that time, I got my mind. I honestly don't even know how to put all these emotions that I had at that time into words. But I know I was scared, but I was intrigued. I mean, I was in awe. All these emotions at the same time just going through me. But all I knew is that I was scared when I saw this light, because it was coming towards us. I kind of felt like I couldn't move. I honestly was unable to move. I couldn't put the car in drive. I could not. Like, I was frozen. I'm looking at this thing and I'm frozen because like I said, I don't know what happens to the body and the mind at that point. I have no idea. All I know is that I'm seeing something that I have no idea what it is. And it's coming towards us. And the only thing that I could think of is that we're going to get abducted. Honestly, I said, like in seconds, like milliseconds, I'm thinking all this stuff. We're gonna get abducted. No one's ever gonna find us. And I remember I said a prayer to God under my breath. And that prayer was, "My God, be with us always." And as soon as I said that prayer, and I don't know if this is coincidence or if there's something that correlates to it, but as soon as I said that, I remember seeing these, and again, it's very hard for me to describe, but I'm going to say, call them heat waves. And the only thing that I can say is, like, whenever you are driving down a road or a highway, and it's so hot that you can see the distortion, what they call the mirage, I guess, the distortion coming up from far away. You see that wave. That's what I saw start from the bottom of this object going up. And they were blue in color. These things start going up from the bottom of the craft, and as soon as that started, the object began to rise straight up. There was no wobbling. This object seemed like it was connected to some straight line. That's the only way I can say it, because it didn't wobble. It didn't go from side to side. It was just a straight rise. And all this time, I remember this object was changing. It was changing into a color. It was, at the time when it's rising up, morning, when it's going up, it's changing into this blue color. And when it went up about 80 feet, it stopped, and it stopped when it completely turned blue. And it had a, like I said, it's so hard. It's so hard. That's why I think about these things so much. Is because they're so hard to describe. I mean, I can see everything in my mind as if I just saw it yesterday. But there was a glow around this object, and it was going left to right, like counterclockwise. The glow of on that craft was, and then I had never seen anything like it at that time. But it only sat there for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then another color started on this object, the same way as it did from the bottom of the craft going up. Like, the only thing I can describe it is they look like there's this like almost like liquid. I mean, it's so, I don't know, maybe like liquid moving up, but it looked like the way it was so fluid, the way the light would move up, but it still had that like that heat wave, that mirage look to it. But it's going up the craft. I never remember the colors mixing or bleeding into one another. Like, one color was there and another one would take over. That second time, it was like an orange yellow color covering this object. But as soon as that began, then the object started moving towards the west. And while it's moving towards the west and changing into that color, it goes about another 80 feet until it completely turned into that orange yellow color, and then it stopped again. Another 2 to 3 seconds. And so I already seen it do two things, and every time it was doing something, it was a different color, or it was a color started and then it doing something. So it was like almost like an indicator, I guess, for this object. But after that changed to that orange yellow color, another the final color I remember was red. So these red colored heat waves start, and so you have an object that's shaped like this, kind of like that. So it's got that little curve at the top, and these heat waves are going up the object. When the red color, those red heat waves finally reach like the top of the curve, the apex of that curve, I mean, completely. I mean, and it was also instantaneous. Like as soon as that object went completely red, it shot up into space. I mean, it was gone. It was gone. Like as soon as it turned red, it shot up straight into the night sky, straight up into space, and it was gone. I'm saying less than a second. I mean, it was like it got shot out of a gun. And I think back to that point, I was like, there was a small object, way smaller than that Artemis 2 rocket, and it shot from 80 feet, approximately 80 feet above the ground, straight up into space in less than a second. No thrust, no noise. I mean, like it was never even there. No disturbance. And you wonder why people that have these experiences have a hard time dealing with most. That's been mine. That has been my story for most of my life now, because that was just one of the many that I have seen. But if you're enjoying this and want to hear more, all I ask is that you follow. And I really appreciate that. And I'll see you again on the next round.